Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Unit 1.2 Notes, Day 1. Today we're talking about the slope of a line. Our learning target today is to be able to determine the slope of a line by using the slope formula or the graph of a line. Now, slope. Do you know what variable slope is? Yeah, they say that slope is the variable m, and that is the ratio of the vertical change and the horizontal change of a line. Another word that you're going to hear us use a lot is the rate of change. And all of those words help describe slope. So note, since slope is a ratio, you must always reduce it and not write it as a fraction. Okay? So if we have a positive slope, that is a line that rises from left to right. So that has a positive slope. A line that rises from left to right could look like this. All right. Another type of line, a line with a negative slope, that is a line that falls from left to right. And that we would say has a negative slope. So just from left to right, it is going down. Okay, now the two other lines that you will be seeing, a zero slope and an undefined slope. A zero slope, we would say that that is a horizontal line. Those have a zero slope. So horizontal, zero slope, we'll say it's also lazy, it's laying down. I like to think of the H in horizontal is going from left to right. Okay, and the last one, undefined, is a vertical line. So vertical means that it goes up and down. And those have an undefined slope, okay? Undefined, we would just say that m equals, and we would say m is undefined. Sorry, undefined. And for horizontal, we would say that m is 0, okay? So determining the slope of a line, there are two ways that we can do that. One is by using the slope formula, and we would say that we have two different points for that. We would take the change in y, so y2 minus y1, okay, that's on the top, and then we would subtract it from the bottom, okay? So here's an example of that. I always start with m equals, because that's my slope, and I need to subtract. Now, I subtract the y's on the top, so I start with -1, -1, and on the bottom, I have 2, and since I have -2, that would change to a positive. Okay? And so I would just follow the order of operations. -1 minus 1 is -2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. And just remember that we said this, that we have to always reduce. Okay, I don't want to leave my fraction as -2/4. I want to say that that's -1/2. Okay, so that would be my final answer, -1/2. Okay, another way that we could do that is using a graph. And we would write the ratio of vertical change and the horizontal change between the 2 points. So we would check to see if it's rising or falling. and we would put the rise or the fall on top and then the run on the bottom. Okay, so for our first example on the left, there are our two dots. So this line is rising, and we would see, well, how far am I rising? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm rising 7, and I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my rise, okay, if you need a little reminder that this is rise over run, we would say that our slope equals 7 over 4. Okay, looking at our next one, here are my two dots. We've got one right here and one right here. The first thing that I notice right away is that this is falling. So we would say that this is fall over run. Okay, I need to go down 2, so it's a negative 2, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if my slope is negative 2, because that's my fall over my run, I would reduce that to negative 1/5. Okay, so since those are my answers, I'm going to put a box around it. Okay, let's go ahead and flip it over. So on the back, it's asking us to calculate the slope of a line by using the information given. For 1 through 6, circle the type of line on the slope, and we have to say, is it rising, falling, horizontal, or vertical? Now, if you have not memorized this formula in classes past, we would highly recommend it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just rewrite the formula and put my subtraction symbols down. On the top, I start with my y, so that's 6 minus 0. And on the bottom, I start with my negative 1. And then since it's a negative 3, I know I'm going to be adding that. So 6 minus 0 is 6. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. And I always want to reduce that, so that is 3. All right? That is a positive slope. Okay? So a positive slope from left to right is rising. Okay, so number 2. Once again, I'm going to start, write down my subtraction signs, and I've got negative 3 to 1. And then on the bottom, we have negative 2. And that changes to a positive 2 because it's a negative. Always watch your signs. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. And negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Now, when 0 is on the bottom, what happens? If you don't know, use your calculator. So I have negative 4 divided by 0. And, ooh, error, divide by 0. Can't do that. All right, so that means that my slope is undefined. Okay, when 0 is on the bottom, guys, your slope is undefined. And if it's undefined, we have a vertical line. All right, number 3. Start with our y's on top, negative 6 minus 3, so that's going to change to a plus. And then on the bottom, we have 5 minus negative 1, so that's going to change to a plus. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. Remember to always reduce your fraction, and that changes to a negative 1/2. And since I have a negative slope, that's going to be falling. All right, number 4. Why don't you pause the video and see if you can set it up on your own. Good luck. Okay, well, I set it up and then I actually started to solve. So on the top, 8 plus 2 is 10. On the bottom, 6 minus 0 is 6. And then, ooh, good thing I double checked this, because that's not 5 over 4, it's 5 over 3. Okay, so that is a positive slope. Remember, we want the fraction. Okay, so that is rising. All right, number 5. We'll do number 5 together, and 6, you're all on your own. Okay, so on the top, we have negative 4 minus 4, so that's going to change to a plus. And on the bottom, we have 7 minus 0. On the top, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. 7 minus 0 is 7. Okay, now my slope is not 0 over 7. My slope is 0. Okay, because 0 divided by 7 is 0. Okay, and if our slope is 0, that means we have a horizontal line. All right, number 6, you're all on your own. Pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so on the top, negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. On the bottom, negative 6 minus 6. Oh, those do not cancel out, guys. That's negative 12. And then we have a negative divided by negative, which turns to a positive. So we are rising, and that's a positive 3 over 4. All right. Oops. Last ones. So down here, we need to calculate our slope by looking at the graph. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and look at my points again. So those are easier to see. Now, if you don't know if it's rising or falling, well, just remember, go from left to right, and if it's going up, this is going to be rise over run, okay? So counting, I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. So 4 over 2, when that reduces, my slope is 2. All right, now right away, if you notice that this is a horizontal line, okay, horizontal line from left to right, I know that my slope is 0, okay? And if you think about it, my rise, I went up 0, and then I went over 1, 2, 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0, okay? Once again, knowing, just being able to look right away and be like, hey, Mr. Grice, this is a vertical line. It's going up and down. All right, so that means this is undefined. Okay? And the last one, remember from left to right, it is falling. So it's going to be fall over run. I'm going down 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 7. So that means my slope is negative 2 over 7. Okay guys, well that's going to be it for Algebra 2 Unit 1.2 Notes, Day 1. If you have any questions, please come see myself or Miss Carranza. We would love to help you out. And then your homework is Algebra 2 1.2, Practice A. Alright guys, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.